Mike Woodson, is he finally pulling the right strings, or is he really kind of pissing off the wrong people? We'll talk about it in this episode.
1 for 3 on the way.
Hello, guys, and thank you so much for joining me on this episode of Indiana Sports Connection. I am your residential anchor, Aaron. Let's get right into talking about the Indiana Hoosiers on this channel today. I have a lot of stuff to get into. Mike Woodson, what he said during the senior night speeches. We're not going to talk about what the players said because I did see some people stupidly attacking the players. I would not do that. But we're going to talk about what Mike Woodson said during his speech, then what he said in the press conference afterwards. It shows a level of just what is going on in his brain sometimes. Or is this some type of stroke of genius that he's come across? We'll talk about all that and more on this episode of Indiana Sports Connection. But if this is your first time here, hit that subscribe button down below. This is where the most passionate Indiana Hoosier fans, true fans, and I'm going to tell you, you're all good fans.
There's no naughty kids, Nick. They're all good kids. But some of them are scared, and some of them don't feel listened to. Some of them had some pretty tough breaks, too.
Fans. All of you out there that root for the team, that love the team, even if you're critical of the coach, they're all good fans. They all deserve a present, Santa Claus. They're all good kids. You know what I'm saying? So subscribe to the channel, hit that thumbs up button, and like the video. That gets it out to more Hoosier fans so we can grow the Hoosier fan base as large as we possibly can, because that is our mission here. Now that we got that out of the way, let's get into talking about the Indiana Hoosiers. So Mike Woodson and the senior night speeches, he just could not contain himself. He had to call out the fans, and this is what he said.
And most of all, our true fans, true fans. I'll say that again, our true fans.
You know, after he said it one time, he's just like, ahem. Did you not hear me? I said true fans. I mean, how many people were sitting up in the balcony like waiting for Ben Stiller to be like,
I've been thinking about you all the time.
wait, you? Me? Are you clapping because you're a true fan or because you hate the coach? I'm here to tell you, you can criticize the coach and still be a true fan of Indiana basketball. Can the fan base get crazy? It can get crazy. You know what? Because we expect the best, and we expect the level of effort that the coach is putting out there to be at the level that we expect it to be at. A lot of audacity with this guy. Let's roll another clip, because this is what he had to say in the press conference afterwards, and just woohoo, woohoo. I just cannot believe that he says these things. Let's roll that clip.
Job and recruiting, and meanwhile you guys are on a 4-game winning streak and look like an NCAA team. What's it been like for you personally to kind of manage through those two different things going on at the same time?
Should never be any questions about my job based on what I've done here since I've stepped foot in Indiana as a coach. So I'm not even going to entertain, questions about it, because shouldn't be anything out there floating around about my job. I've done my job, and I'm going to continue to do it.
The audacity of this guy to sit there with 0 recruits and say, boy, there's no way my job is in jeopardy. It never was in jeopardy, and it never should be. Wow. I mean, let's see how that would play out in real life. Bill, what kind of month you having? It's been a big month for me. Actually, I have no sales this month, but I've done my job here, so I think I'm safe. Really? You know, there's a good chance you'll get fired. Well, I made a few phone calls. They should be happy with that. Now, I want to talk about something because Leo, and I don't care what, the players are going to stand by the coach. That's just the bottom line. They did say a lot of great things about Mike Woodson and about how they liked him and told the fans to chill out. You know, you can't blame the players for that. But I picked up on a little bit of this from the players, this us against the world mentality. So, I mean, we're criticizing Mike Woodson. All these players are seeing that, and now they're playing harder. So, in effect, what we are doing right now by picking on Mike Woodson is working. And you know what? Whatever you have to do in life to motivate yourself, do it. You know, if you are sitting there and you want to watch this video and be like, you know what?
It's really unfair. It's my team. It's my quarterback. And if you guys do that, man, it's unfair. We lost as a team.
You know, if you're watching this video and you're just like, you know what? That bald SOB, I hate him. He puts down Mike Woodson all the time. And you know what? I'm going to show him. I'm going to go out there and play the hardest basketball game I've ever played. Then good for you. That's what you should do. You know, use this as motivation then. Something I have always been, and then maybe this is the fatal flaw of my personality. I love to go hard at people. Like this guy is just so stubborn and stuck up. I just love to go hard at people when I know that they're just dead wrong. Because here is another, and I don't know which comment that he said during that press conference that I laughed more at, the one before or this one right here. Let's run that clip.
And what's going on in college sports. So I can't address none of that, and I can't tell them who's going to be their teammates. Just don't know. I don't know that yet. So this summer will be very pivotal and important for our program and moving forward. I mean, that's what college basketball presents every summer. We're playing as good as any team in the country right now based on how we played these last 4 games.
Is Indiana playing as well as anyone in the country right now? And I don't want to put a damper on winning, but they met a lot of these teams right at the right time. I mean, I'm just looking at it from the perspective of analyzing, because Wisconsin, they were 5 of 6 in their last 10 games when Indiana beat them at home. And they won that game at home. Good for you. That's a game you should win at home, and you should play like that in that game. Then Maryland, they have just been really trying to stay out of the bottom 4. Maryland is not beating anybody. Then we went at Minnesota, Minnesota has played a little bit better, but when you look at the talent that Indiana has, there is no reason why they shouldn't be able to handle and pummel Minnesota like they did. And then this Michigan State team has been kind of all out of sorts all year. I mean, they were ranked high to start the season. They were ranked 14th, and then they've had some laws, and they've definitely just had their worst laws really in the last 2 or 3 weeks. So I'm not putting a damper on winning. We've won 4 in a row. We have a chance to win the Big Ten tournament. And I do believe of any time in any type of recent memory that we have a chance to win the Big Ten tournament, it is right now. Because a lot of these teams in the Big Ten are playing like garbage. I believe Illinois and Purdue are gettable at this point because they're just gassed from this season totally, and going into the tournament. Hope one of those teams can go down, but Indiana can definitely make a run in the tournament, and maybe they need that. Maybe they need this backs against the wall, painted into a corner attitude, and that's the only way they start putting out some real effort out there on the court. We are seeing more effort out there. Is this because they have this, them against the world mentality? Hopefully they do, because we want to see them win these games. We want to see the effort. That is what it is. Has been frustrating with this team. Not seeing the effort level combined with how talented this team is. We know that this team is a lot more talented than like Nebraska, Iowa. They beat Iowa, but Penn State, all these teams that they've lost to, Wisconsin, they just have to go out there on the floor and prove it. Khalil Ware is playing like an absolute beast. He might be playing as one of the top 5 players in the entire country right now. So if he could pull this team together, and I saw some real fire out of him yesterday, which is a good sign. So if he could pull this team together and play at the level he is. And Galloway's coming back for the tournament. He said it during his thing. Galloway and Leal both coming back next year. That is huge for the Hoosiers. I do love both of those guys. Love to see what they do out there. But don't just use, because I said I love you guys as players, that you're going to slack off, because you still got to play hard, okay? But can they do it? Ken Sterling said, take it easy on Mike Woodson this week. But you know what? I am who I am, damn it. And I have to look at these things that he says. Mr. Inside Out himself. He just said last week that the game is played inside out, and that was tweeted all over the place, making us look like fools by other college basketball people saying, yeah, Mr. Inside Out, that's why you're in the NIT or not even in the tournament, because you're playing inside out, right? It's not played that way anymore. And to have that level of stubbornness there, God, just wish. I don't want to fire Mike Woodson. What I want is for him to realize how to change. How to change. Hoosiers will be playing on Thursday night at 9 o'clock, and we'll talk more about that game as it gets closer. But I thought a very eventful senior night and some very interesting comments out of Mike Woodson. Conflict brings out the best in people sometimes. Pushing somebody to their limit and going hard at a person makes a person realize that they're not going to get away with this type of bullshit. So just keep that in mind.
Loaded up and trucking. Are we going to do what they say can't be done?